Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, this is Bug Fables, and these are the Golden Hills. We need to look for something here, but it's been so long that I don't remember the story. There is a hole. We have nothing that would appropriately enter the hole. Anyway, in case you were wondering... Hee visitors, hang on, I know what voice I want to do here. Give me a moment to process. Oh, how nice of the two of you to come here. Goodness.
Ew, that plant can talk.
It can't count, though.
So there's 3 of you? Oh!
I'm sorry to all of Wales, but I will persist with this.
I see. So that's how it is. So what brings you here? Come to take in the sights? We're here for the artifact, fame and riches. Such reckless greed. How impure. Impure? Dear plant, we assure you there is more at play than mere riches. Yeah, right. You bugs always say the same.
Nice going, Bee.
If you want to get the artifact, you'll have to get to the top. Let's see if some fly traps don't eat you before then. The announcing openly that you're here to take the treasure wasn't very smart. I mean, I wasn't gonna lie or anything.
We're sure that's the reason.
Whatever. You heard it. Treasure's at the top, so let's get climbing.
Let's be careful. Something feels off about this place. Yeah, like it's an entire outdoor dungeon, split into at least 2, maybe more, pieces. But yes, as I was about to say before Wales happened, it instantly, Dween Mwn Haidiski Cymraeg, for those who care. Oh no! This is what I get for speaking Welsh and not paying attention to my surroundings. Okay, first of all... What the hell Yes, use an item. What the hell am I looking at? A chomper. A chomper? A chomper? What say you?
Chompers are the worst! They bite you really hard and they even heal while they're doing it! And they summon tinier, annoying chompers! I'm gonna take it out before it can!
No, you're not, because you have had your turn. So, instead I shall give you a flip and hope for the best. The best did not come to pass. Perhaps, being as you are, I pressed X and then Z like a frame after, because I'm a damp fool. Yes, a damp fool, because I'm sitting underneath a window. No, I will not provide further context. There. I got the A button this time, and if only I'd been correct the first time, things wouldn't have been so different this time. I'm just talking rubbish at this point. Like, the last episode was the episode of the split timelines and whatnot. So, the anecdote I was trying to say is I am absolutely the one of the friend group who will just turn up on Discord, drop a random link to a piece of Finnish rock opera from 2007, just declare that it slaps, and then bounce with no further context. That is my lot in life. Now, years ago, people went down alleyways, and I said that I was going to go for health because this is basically the junk stat. You will... Like, the game is designed around you never picking this, because it is never worth your while to do so, whereas the others are... They are more useful, because like +3, +3, +1, but we will need to invest into it eventually, and 10 is a nice round number. Plus... Oh, I see. Generally speaking, the worst that an attack will do if you're not careful is 3 damage, so by having 10 HP, we can now take 4 hits rather than 3 before perishing. Anyway, yes, the Welsh bud reminded us to be afraid. By which I mean... we were notified that there may in fact... Oh, that one moves that one. Okay then. Well, I'll just fling that at that, jump aboard this, and then we can go on a journey of overtime and space. Now, there is business up there. I forget what it is, so let's just go the obvious way. But, yeah. So I've been learning Welsh for a while, and it just seems fitting for what I have planned that those plants talk with what is generously describable as a Welsh accent. Now, which one does what here? So the distant one makes that one rotate. Okay, I did not see that coming. And then this one, I'm assuming, will be the... Yep, there we go. full-on, like, 4th to 5th Pokemon gym level puzzle here, and I mean that as a compliment.
Ah, it's a numbnail!
I feel like I avoided that, but whatever. You know, I'll leave this battle in because it's been about 80 years since I've done much in the way of battling on screen. And I have fear of the numbnail. It's like getting yeah down with the trumpets. But again, I pressed X and then literally half a second later, no wait, I meant Z. So, I'm terrible at life. I'm a frame too early again. Why am I just bad at everything? Haha. I'm bad at everything except blocking, except for when the blocking is blocking that. I'm beginning to have second thoughts about this series as a whole. No, I say that in jest. I enjoy this game, and I'm glad that I'm showing it off. I just think I'm not necessarily brilliant at it. Anyway, that's kind of why I didn't bother going after the seedling, because that was probably going to happen anyway. And besides, rather have it attack a seedling than it attacking one of us and then me having to fumble with the timing and, you know, there could be suffering and there wasn't suffering. I blocked way too early there because I didn't realize that you had the audacity, just the audacity to boost your stats and attack in the same turn? Who don't you think you're not? Anyway, money. Now then, I'm assuming that this will also rotate the... I'm gonna call it the gym leader platform, even though, by the very virtue of how DS Pokemon games are structured, a gym leader would not be able to be on a movable platform. Ooh, there's green. And a Weevil, get in the bin. Well, that was relatively straightforward. 'Twas but a Weevil and a Chomper, and the Chomper didn't even get to attack because the Weevil ate its face. Something bath salts. I finally got around to watching the film Sausage Party a few weeks ago, and it is unbelievably juvenile, but not without moments of charm. But it is, like, it's generally speaking terrible, but it has its moments. Anyway. Oh, the green goes down when the brown goes up. Things can be good and brown. That's... You see, I feel like I shouldn't unpack this any further because it'd be so easy to take out of context. Literally all I'm thinking is, once upon a time, I used the oven in my kitchen, I described it as brown, and everything was healthy. I feel like Europe Scale 08 could probably explain this far better than I, Captain, I went to go into that hole and you denied me my rights to hole. Okay. Did we live? We lived. One might even go so far as to say that we loaf. Just a conga line of 3 acornlings and nothing to do with their slives. See, even when I was saying that to myself, it didn't make any sense. And that's how we get these two arraigned. I know that's a word. I don't know what if it's even remotely applicable to my circumstance. Right, so the speed at which they rotate, not necessarily goobulous, but haha, I solved the puzzle and the mystery, and we all got to live a happy little life for the rest of forever. I'm gonna leave this battle in because... Oh my! I'm gonna leave this battle in because it's a Chomper, that's a new enemy, and I want to have Leaf lead because I've not done any healing yet, and this might be a good chance to showcase Frigid Coffin, except I think it can only target one enemy. It can only target one enemy. That's unfortunate. Okay, well, here's how this works, he says, with no practice whatsoever. Oh, that wasn't that difficult after all. Okay, then. Well, then. Now, I suppose it is worth my calling attention to the fact that, it says with a great chance to freeze. You're more likely to freeze a creature, using Frigid Coffin compared to Icefall, but that is still a chance. Oh good, that's happened. Ah, you can't bite me. You're not allowed to live. Is it worth me doing that again? But on you. Now that I know what to expect. A, and then A up. Ow! Wow. It really was soup. I was going to say super effective, but I thought it would just be funnier if I stopped when I got to the word soup, which is contained within the word super. Relevant story. So a friend of mine went on holiday to, like, the French-Italian Riviera, and part of the trip was supposed to involve an excursion to Monaco, because that's like a whole little thing. We got a wooden crank. I forgot that we needed it. But things didn't go exactly according to plan. There was some bus breakdownages, and everything was terrible. They couldn't go to Monaco in the end, and she's since had a dream in which I turned up, got into a fist fight with the tour operators, and told them, hey, several things. First of all, give her her money back for the fact that she couldn't go to Monaco. Second, give her recompense for not being able to go to Monaco. Oh hey, this looks like a hole for a crank. Have my cranky in your hole. No. And third, when you're giving her a hotel in Monaco, make sure that there are gluten-free options because her mother is 4 times weak to the bread type. And they're like, okay, sir, with a loud question mark. And then, and bring Monaco back to Eurovision. And they're like, so we are a bus operator, we do tours. Did I stutter? And, yeah, I'm proud to have been involved in this dream. Well, Kabu is sort of on the brink of the precipice of not being alive anymore, and I'd been sluggish about healing because I kind of figured that we're probably going to level up fairly quickly, and that appears to not be happening, so maybe we should have... I should let Best Boy have a cup of tea. Yes. Yes! Tess going sicko mode, but as in the sicko that waits at the window. I see, said the blind man as he ate a house. Oh, I need to go in over that way. More fool me for thinking that I can back to the pipe with the megaphone seller. That being a comparative deep cut in reference to the music that plays in the level The Ark in Shadow the Hedgehog for PlayStation 2 and GameCube. I consider it a GameCube game first and foremost. Oh hi, you're Welsh again. Oh, you're also... the Welsh flower is aggressive. Well, I think I'll have Leaf lead because they are the bread type. But then, V, since it's your civic duty to go spying, we could have done this when we were fighting the literal praying mantis in the previous episode, in case I didn't point that out. She's a mantis who prays, a praying mantis. We could have done the tattle on the bud of Venus then, but I didn't. Because I wasn't thinking...
Hey, this is Venus's bud. I saw them in a storybook once. I wonder if they drop any rare items. I can get rich proving they're real. But maybe they'll get mad if they find out I heard it. Less thinking, more fighting.
If you say so. Now, what with you being the bread type, can I make you go Icy Freeze Place? Icy Freeze Place? Both? I wasn't expecting to both. Now, I think... Haha, you can't sleep me. I think I accidentally made it wake up from being frozen by attacking it, but I decided that that would be a worthwhile trade-off, because that's just how I strategize. Anyway, are you dead yet? Nope, but you are flying, so there is that. Okay, what I was thinking is, well, they're both in the air now, so how can I get Kabu to attack? But then I can just turn relay to V, and because V is going to have that minus attack buff debuff for it being a attack relay, but this only has 1 HP, so it's fine. So yeah, we're conquering the Welsh, brackets affectionate. Anyway, why do you hate us? Apart from the whole mercenary aspect, I suppose. Yeah, I would have been insulted if you'd given that to me. So yeah, what does that do? Oh. Ron Tate. It's like rotation, but his name is Ron. Can I go this way without dying? Surprisingly, yes. and in fact it appears to be worth our while to do so. But first, what appears to be some sort of mosquito. Apparently I've already tackled them? This is news to me, so I'm leaving this battle in. I forgot that they're the vengeful sort. You know, it's like the worrying kind, but instead of being black and white and Swedish, they are the vengeful sort, and that's the end of that thought process. Would you like to perish? I don't care if you'd like to, I'm going to inflict it upon you anyway. Leaf had nothing to do with that attack, that was entirely my doing. Why are you nearly dead, Leaf? I did not sign off on your pain pose, your pocket full of painful posies. That's another film I've seen recently. Why are you here? Go to bed. So yes, now that I live on my own, I've sort of been slightly better about catching up on watching films that I had been intending to watch, and one of those was the new Puss in Boots film, and it was good. I enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting Goldilocks and her bears to be... I mean, I would say British, that's very reductive. Back support, you say? Wait, you're up here. So... I'm having a moment of blindness. It's up there. Okay, so we could equip this, but we can't. So... I don't really see... we could take sleep resistance off, but that would only save us 1 BP. Yeah, no, I would like to have back support, but now is not the time. Hence what I've said previously about, like, the game does not want you to invest in H. McPeingtons. It wants you to suffer, and that's about it, really. It expects suffering on your... Wow. Speaking of suffering, I did not expect that jump to work, and yet here we live. I'm getting really worried about that side tube off to the right now, so I'm going to have to redo this room in order to get to whatever that is, but hey. Ooh, is that cake? It's almost definitely not cake. Can you... Okay, good, you're... Okay, so that just did not go as planned whatsoever. We are yay close to leveling up, but we're also yay close to knocking on death's door. Wanna know my secret? Bang. That's just conflating all of the references. We got the bottom half of a big crack. Now, I don't fully remember, but I get the suspicion that perhaps here on the left path is one half of the big crank, and then there's the right-hand path from the start of this dungeon, if you want to call it a dungeon, which you can, you wouldn't be wrong to do so. We go one way for one side of the crank, the other half for the other. Why am I being terrible at words this particular day? You surely you comprehend my meaning. Now, was it worth my while to come this way whatsoever? Well, there's bushables. We got a burly berry, which I am probably not likely to use for anything except possibly ingredients, which is a word, like, as in ingredience. Shakespeare used it, it's a word. And that just re-niffles the point. Okay, well, I think we're done over here. Oh, the grass respawned. I forgot that grass had this habit of, it tends to grow back when you cut it, much like hair and faces. That was supposed to be my, like, inroad into bitching about how frequently I have to shave my face because of how uncomfortable it gets when the facial hairs get too long. And it just turned into, whoops, Tess is a serial killer who tears people's faces off, apparently. And justifying it by going, they grow back, it's fine. I don't think they do. Oh, dear. I didn't realize I'd have to do more crank stuffing. Crank stuffing, sure. No. That's the thing with these cranks. There is sort of a delay. So I think I mentioned when last the cranks were relevant, that they sort of snap into place when they're close enough to the correct alignment. And there's that, but there's also the delay aspect of how long they spend in prognosis, and I thought there was another crank over here so that I might have a better time establishing what I'm trying to do. And apparently there isn't? Oh no, wait. Might there be? There is. This was here the whole time. So... I was hoping that I could just sort of leave that woobling the whole time. And the game was like, hey, what if the camera just decided that you can't? Oh wait, I could just... I was going to approach it from the right and then ride the rotations and jump up this way, and I completely forgot how angles work, and as it turns out, you don't need to do what I was planning whatsoever when you can just go the way that makes sense. Can we please jump? Mayhaps yump? Or perhaps jump? Oh, it was all for a crystal berry. Well, that worked out flindipulunkly. So, I guess... Well, this seems like a point where I'd break an episode, but no, these episodes run for longer, we established this. Now, that crystal being a pistol, that is to say a piss crystal because it's yellow, that has healed us, so... I guess we don't really have to worry about things. Now, I forgot. Do I have to go back and pick up the crank that I used in that other room? It's going to bug me if I don't check, so, give me just a second, okay? I'll be back in just a second. Nope, the crank that we used previously is now firmly stuck in its new situation, so we can't use that over yonder, and I'm assuming that the large hole in front of that statue is where we need the big crank for, so let's at least make a start on divulging further into the Golden Hills. I mean, they're more of a pleasant shade of, like, peach sponge cake rather than gold, per se, but... Sure, we can live a life. And now we need to freeze. I don't know what for, but you're giving me dripping, so I shall solve the mystery. The big drippy mystery. Which is a horrible thing to title an episode. Now... Oh, much too far. This may require us to do... Probably not, but still. That's what I wanted to do in the previous room. Just wanted to do a bit of a hoopty, and then I didn't. Now, do I even need to take this over here, or do I need to take it to a different over here? Also, how long does ice last before naturally melting? I don't remember. 2 chompers and an acornling, and suddenly we have leveled up again. Huzzah. But does that make our audience any bigger? Do we get a fancier stage, or is this not the 1,000-year door? Now, bearing in mind the save my back medal that we got earlier, I guess we'll go for medal points. Even though clearly, I've successfully demonstrated that I am a basic bear who clearly needs 5... Just 5 in general, but also... Oppan Gangnam Style? You know, because it's 2012. Oh. Huh. I thought this side of the forest, you know, pictured here, the forest. I thought it would be spicier than that, but I suppose that's it? Okay. By the way, something that I've been meaning to allude to for this entire series so far, it is such a faff that if you press down, and then wait a second, and then throw the... Okay, prove me wrong, why don't you? I distinctly recall that the game didn't remember... Maybe they've patched this in the year that I took to get back to the series. I've traditionally found it to be difficult to throw the Beemerang, I'm sorry, forwards or backwards because, like, right now, the game would consider me to be facing left, even though the last direction I faced was up. Clearly they have since fixed that, or it wasn't a problem in the first place. Now, I have already forgotten if the thing I just got was part of the big shafty or the little shafty. I am probably going to hell in the bread dimension. This episode is just all about bread. Okay, this is why I thought the right half was larger, because there's more of it. And hey, there's a seedling that we could get into a fight with, but also there's a gap that we want to cross, so we should probably do that instead. Huzzah. There's more ice puzzles and such type exclusionary. And as you can see, things respawning, fairly forgiving. So you don't have to be perfect, which, I mean, rich coming from me and the standards I hold myself to. Did I really? Surely not. Ah, okay. We lived. Where are you relative to me? I can't exist you. There we go. Oh, okay, you're there now? Can you be here instead? Can you get into range of my freezables? Apparently not. Why am I bad at life? Why am I bad at Leaf? Because it's Leaf who's doing the freezing. Okay, shall we try that again? But with a modicum less failure. Survey saying no so far. What if I stand here? Would you mind coming closer and listening? You know, like Sandy Shore. Oh, it was just jumpable the whole time. The whole damp time. You see, I brought it back around because, you know, not that way, I want to go a different way. Oh, it wants me to jump into the foreground here. Are you just meant to be an obstacle? Is that why I'm having 12 times? It's like having a time, but there's 12 of them. You know, in case that needed clarifying at any juncture, such as this one. Yeah, I think that's just going to end in sadness, so how about we try to not fling it quite so far into the pain soup this time? Maybe, perhaps, drink pineapple juice? Although that did help to confirm the suspicions that these seedlings are just there for platforming purposes, and thus are so weak that you can just use the don't fucking touch me badge. Like that. That was accidentally well timed. Now then, what find we this way?
We can't reach it.
Well, what now? Clearly we jump and then die. Luckily that's put us right next to the ice. We could probably use the ice to extend our jump ability. Yeah, how much of this was pre-planned? Did I fail on purpose in order to better subjugate the tutoriality of my words? I am so out of practice, and recording Touch Detective alongside this hasn't helped because that is 90% dialogue and very little in the way of Tess actually having to improvise, so V, stand on this wet cube and throw your thing. There we go, we've got the top half of the big crank, which becomes the big crank. It's like a fancy cake. But it's not, it's made of wood, you donut. Now, what's over there, we just don't know. We have no way of knowing, we're never going to come back here, there is absolutely nothing happening over there that we can ever be a part of, so let's just move on with the schedule of our daily lives in which we enjoy this delicious, tasty banana.
We should be able to reach the upper level now.
Something's odd. Let's make sure we're ready. How deliciously ominous. Well then, on that note, I think it's time for me to say that I have been and will continue to be Tessellating Hexagons, and in the next episode, we'll insert the big crank and nothing will go wrong. I see no way that anything could possibly stop us now. So see you then for that, where things will continue to be good and lovely.